welcome to the Giraffe Social Media Podcast. It's what social media managers are talking about. I'm Nicole Watson, and today I'm joined by some brilliant members of the Giraffe team. We have Senior Social Media Manager Dom.
Hello.
Social Media Manager Laura.
Hi.
And Social Media Assistant Chloe.
Hello.
So in today's group chat episode, we're going to be discussing the most loved up day of the year, Valentine's Day. And before we get started, I have a question for the whole team. What is your favourite rom-com? Because I am dying to know, and I also need suggestions. Chloe, I'll start off with you.
I have two favorites. I have like my OG from the first time I saw it, loved it, which is 27 Dresses, classic. And then more recently, I watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and Matthew McConaughey just like awoke something in me. Like, I love that film. Like, it's everything.
Very good choices. I have to agree. Laura?
Mine, again, fairly recently, but is Netflix original, which is To All the Boys I've Ever Loved. Just such a wholesome watch. So, yeah.
So good. Have you seen the sequel?
Yes. Yeah.
And are you excited for the third?
I'm ecstatic for the third. And also just to add in there another Netflix original, which is Kissing Booth, another really good rom-com. Sometimes Netflix originals can be a bit hit and miss, but those, complete hit.
Nice. Dom, I'm sure you're dying to tell us your favourite rom-com.
Oh no, I love a good rom-com. My favourite is About Time. Anyone seen that before?
Is that with Justin Timberlake?
No.
No.
Oh, my bad.
That one is Friends with Benefits. Is that what you're thinking?
No, I'm thinking of In Time. You know when they have like their clocks on their wrist and they die when their clock ends? That's a good one too, though.
But no, About Time has Rachel McAdams on it. The one who's from The Notebook. Really good film. Really, really good film. Recommend if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. I love that film. It's so good. I think it is on Netflix as well. I watched it quite recently. It's adorable. I really like this film. It's so like niche and random. It's called Mr. Right, and it's got Anna Kendrick from Pitch Perfect and Sam Rockwell, and he's like a hitman. They fall in love, all that fun stuff. But it's got a bit of action in there as well. So if you're into action and rom-coms, I think it's quite good. But there we go. There's some suggestions for the listeners there if you're looking for a rom-com. So yeah, I mean, we'll get straight into it. Now, I was having a little research about Valentine's Day and how businesses could benefit from the day, because I think it's such a big holiday and it's definitely grown in recent years. Apparently, since 2010, Valentine's Day gifts for friends has tripled. So not only are people buying more gifts for their partners, but also I think it's become just a general fun holiday to give gifts and share love, which is lovely. So I do think it's important for brands to acknowledge it on social media, and it's also just a fun excuse to come up with some creative ideas on social. But obviously with lockdown and COVID, things are a little bit different this year. I don't know, Dom, have you seen anything on social about Valentine's Day? Any inspiration?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen it, but on TikTok there was some sort of trend going like lockdown dates, and basically what it is, if people have been going out, like a couple or even just your family, you can go out in your car and you each choose a starter, main and a dessert. Obviously you can have you're probably most likely going to have different options, and then you do rock paper scissors, and the winner, you choose their options. So for example, you're doing starters, you do a rock paper scissors, and then whoever wins, you would go to, let's say you wanted a McDonald's breakfast. All right, you go there and have McDonald's breakfast. Then for mains, you do rock, paper, scissors again. Whoever wins, let's say you wanted a Domino's, you would go get a Domino's, and then dessert. so long. I think that's quite a good creative way of, during lockdown, you're not being able to go to restaurants, not really being able to do much apart from going for walks. So to be able to be like still being able to do something with your partner or just with your family, I think it's quite a creative way, and it's trended quite a lot on TikTok. So yeah, very good fit. It's something that's actually I'm planning on doing at some point. Probably not for Valentine's Day, because I can imagine it's going to be pretty hectic. Well, not say hectic, but most takeaway places are going to be hectic, so probably won't be at that point. But yeah, it's a good idea.
Oh,
I love
that's
that.
so cute.
Yeah.
Even doing like an Uber Eats version, so I don't have to leave the house at all. So good.
You have pros and cons, don't you? Because if you lose all of it, then you're not going to have any
risky.
of what you want. It's very risky, but yeah, that's a good idea.
That's so cute. I saw a similar trend where like both partner had to go out and buy something that's like based on their favorite color or like based on their favorite hobby, and like something their favorite snack, like you had to buy it for each other and then surprise them. That's quite cute. So it's sort of a similar thing, but people are getting creative this year, so it's quite nice. So that's, I guess, just Valentine's in general, but how do you think brands are going to use Valentine's Day this year? Like, obviously, for delivery places, they can sort of make some personalized things, but Chloe, I don't know, have you spotted anything online that you think brands will be doing differently this year?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of creativity, like, it is such a good time of year for brands to kind of jump on the bandwagon, and Valentine's Day is one of those ones where like everyone gets on board, but not everyone is necessarily like related to the gift industry or like the love industry. So sometimes it can be a bit hard to come across like fun and creative without seeming like really forced, like we're celebrating Valentine's Day. So I've seen like a few cool ones that I think can apply to like most brands, that are ways to get involved that aren't necessarily like really obvious, but still kind of fun and engaging content. So I know a lot of people do those ones. This will be hard to explain, but I know that you've seen this. So for example, you could say like, these couples need to go on holiday together, or these couples need to share a McDonald's meal, and then they'll have like two initials next to each other. So it could be like C and L for like Chloe and Laura, or like that kind of thing. Yeah. So I think those are really fun and very easy to like apply to whatever kind of industry or niche you're in. And they're great ways to like get people to engage and like tag their friends and send them to their friends or like partners, that kind of thing. So I love those. And then another one that we're doing here at Giraffe for Valentine's Day, of course, we're a social media brand, so we don't necessarily have anything to do with Valentine's Day in terms of selling product, but we're going to be rounding up the top searches on Google for Valentine's Day in 2020, which I think is like still super interesting, right? Like even if you're not necessarily into what we do, it's cool to kind of, and I had so much fun like looking through the Google searches. There's like the top songs that were played on Valentine's Day last year. You know, I think one of them, one of the top searches was like what to do if your boyfriend breaks up with you, that kind of thing. So, which maybe is not the most fun, but it's still kind of funny to look at. So yeah, I think it's cool to watch brands get involved in new and fun ways that doesn't seem so like forced down your throat. Celebrate Valentine's Day with us. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen so many of those like L plus C need to go on holiday or something like that. And I still get personally offended when I don't see my initial with my friend that I want to go on holiday with. Like, there's so many of them and it attacks my feels when I'm not involved.
Somehow, like, me and my boyfriend always end up together and I'm like, yes, like, made to be. Somehow, like, validates our 7-year relationship. I'm like, see?
See? Yeah, I always see, like, whose letter I'm paired up with, and 9 times out of 10 it's, like, a letter I don't know anyone with that initial. Brilliant.
Yet, Laura. You don't know them yet.
Yes. Yeah, maybe I should just go through my Facebook friend list and just tag someone.
We're going on holiday together. Just tag them. I think that really reminds me of like the love calculators and stuff when you were younger, when you'd put in 2 names and you'd get the calculation and you would be really offended and it was like 2%. Like, what is the science there? I don't think
there is any science behind it. I think it was just
they're kind of like stressful to make though. Like I made one for a brand recently and I was like trying to think of, I was like, oh my God, have I paired up enough like X with A? Like, do people even have names starting with X? Like, it's actually really, I respect to the people that make them on a daily basis.
They are funny, but they are engaging, so they're really good posts to include. So it's a great tip. What about you, Laura? Have you seen any sort of Valentine's campaigns already out there?
So I haven't seen as many this year as maybe I would normally, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not on the hunt for them this year, because days like this kind of, I mean, I don't have anyone to celebrate Valentine's Day with me, so days like this just kind of spring up on me unannounced. But there was a campaign from going back to food delivery. There was a campaign that Deliveroo did in 2017, and before they put this campaign together they conducted some research and surveyed I think 2,000 Brits, something like that, and found that I think 1 in 4 people would rather spend their Valentines with their friends than a partner, which I was like, that is interesting. That would be me. And 37% of couples would happily invite a third wheel to their Valentine's dinner. And Deliveroo basically created a campaign around this, around the sort of 37% of couples, and you know, I think the video is called like Kevin the Third Wheel, and it's basically a video centered around this guy called Kevin, and there's this Deliveroo guy who's like, you know, Kevin's really lonely, like Kevin like can't do anything because he's single and he's lonely, and then it kind of ends is that in that like you can spend your Valentine's like with your third wheel and still share some love with them with Deliveroo, that kind of thing. And I don't know, I remember it at the time because I think it kind of appeals, although it's targeting couples if you like, I think it creates that relatability with non-couples. I don't know if there's singles. It kind of creates that like relatability and also connects with couples as well. And I think it's really interesting, like the research that they found, that kind of people obviously don't always deem like Valentine's Day as like just them and their partner, and how I think brands can really connect to sort of the other side of the spectrum, to non-couples, to singles, to gals, galentines, that kind of thing. That just really stood out to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just going back to the beginning of the episode, like people are spending more money on gifts for their friends now on Valentine's Day. I think that's really nice, and I think especially this year, it's not just about the couples, you know, it's about your mum, your dad, just sharing the love between everyone, which I think is really, really sweet. And that sounds like quite a funny campaign as well. So I like that they included that.
Yeah, so even though I haven't seen as many like campaigns, if you like, or branded campaigns, I have been targeted by a fair few ads of like Galentine's gifts. I don't know if, I'm trying to think, I think it's called like Donut Time or something like that. It's like, have you seen them? Like
I've ordered from them and my donuts are arriving tomorrow.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, been targeted quite a lot by them too.
Because I think it might have been Halloween or like a previous event. They came up on my Instagram feed as like a sponsored ad. And the same thing happened with like Valentine's Day, and it was like, it was kind of pitched in a way that wasn't like send it to the one you love. It was like send it to a friend, or like send it to your mum. And I just loved that. I thought it was like a really like sweet thing. I mean, really sweet because it's donuts as well. They looked incredible. Was it, if they weren't £20, I would have ordered them for myself. You did.
They look so good. I think DIY at home sort of stuff is really, really popular at the moment, especially for Valentine's, because I ordered the like DIY donut Valentine set because I'm a loser, but I'm also very excited.
No, I love that.
But it looked so cool. So it's they basically send you the donuts and then all the chocolates and all the stuff you put on top. And I've been seeing quite a lot of that. Like I think I've seen a couple of like make your own pizza sets. A couple of brands are tapping into that, which I think is really cool because it allows you to like, you know, bring the brand into your home and like actually do something with it, which is really fun. So I'll keep you all posted on my donuts.
Yes, send us some.
Yeah.
Please make them and send
I'm
them.
quite excited. Yeah. But I've definitely been seeing that a lot. I'm the same. I haven't been seeing loads of Valentine's campaigns, but I did see on my feed Pizza Express, who do a lot of competitions, like all the time. And we've discussed before, I love entering Instagram competitions, so I'm still on that. But they're basically playing Cupid, and they asked people to send in like a photo of themselves, where they're from, their age, their favorite Pizza Express pizza, of course. And like for the whole week, they've just been posting these like single people and asking if you want to go on a date with them. And you message the Pizza Express Instagram, and then they are trying to like get people together. And I think they'll put them on a virtual date and send them a pizza and stuff, which is quite cute. But I thought that was quite different. Like genuinely asking people to send in pictures of themselves to promote like was odd, but I think that was quite fun.
That is everything. I love like the idea of like judging someone based off their food tastes. Oh my gosh.
I think it's like a really great way as well for Pizza Express like maintain like their engagement rates on social, because I suppose at the moment, apart from like their perhaps takeaway service that they're offering, like they won't have as much to post, inevitably being closed.
Yeah.
So I thought I think that's a really, really creative idea, and I won't be entering. Maybe next year.
Yeah, it's really good to see brands adapting at the moment. You know, the hospitality industry in general is probably being affected massively by this, like people not being able to go to restaurants. So if you can offer delivery and things like that, you know, those sort of areas are going to benefit. But yeah, so it's good to see certain brands using this time to be able to adapt and build that sort of exposure through social, for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder what is like, here would be my number one vetting question is like, does pineapple go on pizza? Yes or no?
No.
No.
No? What?
No.
Nicole, are you a yes?
I'm a yes.
Ooh, I think I'm a yes as well. I don't mind it. Like a Hawaiian
50-50.
pizza.
Yeah, it's delicious. I don't know what you guys want. What don't you like about it? This is my question to people. What's the beef?
I just think no. Like, pineapple. I wish I had a valid reason, but I don't. It just like, why would you put something sweet on pizza? Like, I just don't understand it.
But
Yeah, like
barbecue sauce is very sweet. People love some barbecue sauce on their pizza.
But it's sweet, but it's a savoury condiment. Pineapple is a fruit and should be enjoyed in a fruit environment.
the thing is, I don't like not dislike it. I just don't think it's right. Don't think it's right.
Some strong arguments being made, guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you can't argue with that, I guess.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. It's just not right.
It's just
Well, I guess if any of the singles put up a Hawaiian pizza, that's a risky thing to do because we got a 50-50 split here. So you're brave. Cool. Okay, guys. Well, it's clear that Valentine's Day is, you know, still a big thing and definitely something to get involved with on social. And I think it's important to know that you can get creative. It's not just about, you know, the couples. Like, there's so many other things you can offer, like whether that's discount codes, fun DIY kits, as we said, Galentines, even anti-Valentines, I think is a thing that some people like to promote. So definitely don't get scared away from it. I think there's lots of ways businesses can get involved, even, you know, paid media advertising as well. It's definitely a good sort of way to add a little bit of positivity to your feed, I think. So I guess we'll just go around and sort of discuss the key takeaways from this episode. Dom, what is the key takeaway you'd like our listeners to take from this episode?
For me, I would say just share a bit of positivity for Valentine's. You know, everyone's in lockdown, everyone's going through tough times, so just share the love with everyone. There you go.
I love that. I completely agree. I think it's a perfect opportunity to do just that. And we could all use a little bit of love, guys. Chloe, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think Valentine's Day is like so different this year, but in a way it's kind of like never been a better time to like celebrate Valentine's Day, because it's all about connection, right? So we're all obviously in our separate homes. So if you're a brand that has like a delivery service, like if it's food, DIY kits, like as we were all saying, like jump on it this year, because everyone, like people love sending things to their friends, to their family, to their loved ones, especially during lockdown. So I think even though Valentine's is different this year, strangely in a way, it's kind of never been more perfect. Yeah, so that would be mine.
Laura?
Yeah, agree with both Dom and Chloe. I think brands shouldn't shy away from it. Like, get creative, be as inclusive as possible, and like don't think of the obvious. I think outside the box, because that's what's gonna get your campaign out there.
That's all we've got time for today, so thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. You can also connect with us on all major social channels and let us know what you thought about today's episode. We'd love to know what your favourite rom-com is. We've been Giraffe Social Media. You've been amazing. We'll see you next time.